As expected, live update. Police in Cleveland, Ohio, and the Cleveland killer. The manhunt for that man has gone nationwide. Accused of killing a grandfather at random, posting that crime on Facebook. So this is the status as we go live in Cleveland.
Since a tragedy involving Steve Stephens and on Easter Sunday, and I want to start off by really thanking the Godwin family. And those of you who have watched them as they've gone through this tragedy, how they've handled themselves, the messages that they've been given, they ought to be commended and thanked for their leadership in this, because they have demonstrated, even in this tragedy, this personal tragedy to their family, that they have forgiven and that they have come together in a way that they've asked us as a community to forgive and to begin to heal, because what happened on Easter Sunday was traumatic. It's traumatic to the Godwin family, but it's been traumatic to Cleveland in particular, but with social media, this has gone all over the country. And people are having the same kind of response and reaction to this, of how the loss of innocence has affected them. And so I want to say to the Godwin family that we are proud of them, and that we really thank them for showing us the way in this situation. The chief and our federal partners will begin to talk about some of the things that we're doing. There may not be a lot of new stuff, but there will be, what we want to do is keep you informed so that the facts will be the facts, not anything else, okay? Chief.
Thanks, Mayor. Good morning. Just a couple things. First and foremost, we have not located Steve. We're still asking the public's help in that regard. Just a couple little technical things for the community to understand. This is currently a nationwide search, and we are getting calls from all over the country, as far away as Texas. If there is a perceived sighting of Steve or this vehicle, we want you to dial 911 right away. If you think you see Steve out there, or if you think you have spotted that vehicle, we want you to call 911 right away. If you think you have information that may lead to Steve or that vehicle, then that's what that FBI tip line is all about. We're getting people as far away, again, as Texas that are saying, hey, I just saw him in a Walmart, and they're calling that tip line, and then we relay that information, and then we have to get back to that jurisdiction to have boots on the ground right then and there, go and check that out. So if you think you spot him or that vehicle, call 911 in your local jurisdiction so they can get officers there right away. If you think you have information that may lead us to him or the vehicle, then call the FBI tip line. There are a couple things floating around out there as far as us tracking this vehicle through some kind of GPS or vehicle locating system. That vehicle is not equipped with any of those systems. Of course, that's the first thing that we looked at from the dealership aspect, and also from Ford Motor Company itself. The vehicle is not equipped for that type of tracking. Again, we're still asking the public's help in locating Steve. We have received to date almost 400 tips nationwide on this, so we encourage people to keep sending in those tips. With that, I'm going to quickly turn it over to Steve Anthony from the FBI.
Thanks, Chief. Just a quick follow-up. I mean, can't overemphasize that point enough. Look at someone out there with 100 years plus of experience to the U.S. Marshals, FBI, and many other state, local, and federal agencies have told us that someone out there has a key piece of information that could help us resolve this matter. They just might not know it. So when in doubt, they have to make the call, as the Chief just said. 911, 1-800-CALL-FBI. We don't care. Call someone and let law enforcement come in and follow up on that. As you know, we have a $50,000 reward out there that was announced yesterday by the mayor. Of course, that is still out there. We have issued the U.S. Marshals and the FBI an unlawful flight to avoid prosecution warrant based upon the underlying murder warrant filed by the city of Cleveland. All that does is, again, lets everyone know very clearly, every federal agent, local agent, state agent, that there is a federal warrant issued, and again, any individual across the United States could act on that warrant, execute that warrant to resolve this matter and to take Steve into custody. Also, as you know, we have billboards up throughout the country, again, in the effort to make sure that Steve's face, his vehicle, is out there for the public to see. We can't thank you all enough for making sure that that's out there. We definitely believe that that'll be critical in resolving this matter. And again, as I know the marshal would agree, and he'll stand up here in a second, is that what we're trying to do, again, is to sort of close the aperture and to try to narrow the space. We wish we could provide more information and to more narrowly focus the search. Obviously, if we had that information, you would know about that. And again, we hope we get to that point so we could share that with you and, again, try to elicit the public support to resolve this matter. So with that, again, just reiterate, 911, the 1-800-CALL FBI. See something, say something. When in doubt, call it. With that, Marshal Elliott.
We're very fortunate here in Cleveland with our partners, because I really believe our strength here is in our partnerships together. So we have our task forces nationwide on this investigation across the country, not only within the Marshal Service but within the FBI. I made the comment the other day, I think we are going to get this individual one way or the other. We've seen a lot of cases through here, through Northern Ohio, over the last 10+ years. Some have run for a couple days. Some have run for a couple years. Some have killed themselves after they ran. So at the end of the day, we're going to use all our resources, put everything together, not only locally but nationally, and follow up on every single lead, no matter where it takes us, within this country or other countries. So, I'm very proud of all our partners here on both sides, and again, I'm very optimistic that we're going to bring closure to this. Thank you.
If I may add one more thing. Over the last few days, we've been talking to a lot of the clergy in regards to this, and they've asked us to communicate to Steve Stephens that they are available to him if he needs their help. In particular, one of the people, pastors that he had been talking to, Pastor Vernon, he had been talking to him early on, I think even before the incident occurred. And so the clergy wanted me to mention that they are available for him if he, in fact, needs their counseling or feels that they could be of assistance to him in turning himself in. All right.
Chief Williams, has the investigation stalled, or given so much exposure, why
This is a critical question. Has it
No,
stalled?
I don't think the investigation is stalled. Like the marshal says, these things can take 2 days, they can take 2 weeks, they can take 2 years. It depends on the individual that's out there. It depends on their mindset and what they're planning on doing. And like I stated yesterday, it depends on if they're getting assistance or not. When people go on the run like this, at some point in time, they need help. And we're telling people, the only assistance in this case is to call us and let us know where this person is so that we can resolve this.
Chief, when is the last time anybody's had any communication with him? Can you pinpoint
So
that?
we were looking for new information, and
as far as
apparently
we
we're
can
not
tell,
getting a lot
it
of
was
it,
the day of
Shannon.
the
Just a little morsel here and there. But one of the big challenges here, two of them, in fact, he was last seen in a white vehicle. You think about the sniper case in Washington, D.C. 10 years ago. You're looking for a white van. You see a white van in every street intersection. This is the challenge now for police. The other challenge is, we were talking to investigators yesterday, when social media gets a tip, well, that could be anywhere. And as they were mentioning, the state of Texas, is he
Right.
there? We don't know. The last ping was picked up late Sunday night in Erie, Pennsylvania, which is 100 miles east of Cleveland. So this is a big mystery right now. And a big question is whether or not this killer is getting help in hiding.
And that's what the investigators are saying. The police chief saying at some point, this kind of being on the run situation, he's going to have to get help from someone else. That person will be in trouble, big trouble as well.
So the Cleveland killer still on the loose. Updates out of Ohio.